Welcome to Laying Fallow. I'm Donovan Bruning. Today I speak with Meghan Donovan. Meghan was a dance major at Savannah Arts Academy. She attended the University of Georgia in the fall of 2020 and graduated in May 2024 with a degree in environmental economics and management. She completed an internship this summer in her field and was hired in August. Meghan has been dating Sam, who she mentions often, since high school. She currently lives in Nashville with Sam. So I start everybody with their quote.
Okay.
And some people are like, what did I say? You were fine.
Okay, good.
You said, junior year, my doctor told me that the only way my knee would get better was if I stopped dancing or had surgery. I've danced since I was 3. I didn't want to let go yet, so I pushed through junior and senior year. I wouldn't be dancing in college, so I was kind of ready to let go. However, I wasn't prepared to lose my final 2 performances. I was the lead. It makes me really sad to think about, but I am choosing to focus on the adventure ahead of me and being closer to my sister in Athens.
Oh, wait, that was good. That was good.
You did all right. You did all right. Some people are like, oh, that was cringy.
Wait, no, I kind of liked that.
Yeah, you did good. You did. So my question for you is, are you dancing?
I'm not dancing, no.
Did you dance at all?
Not at all.
Are you going to dance?
No. I'm not going to dance. I'm into hot yoga now.
Okay.
I'll do lots of hot yoga.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I just wondered how it was letting go of that for you.
Yeah, I've been thinking about it, especially this last year, senior year. I've been thinking about it a lot. Like, just the dances will kind of, like, come back to me, like, the stuff that I was supposed to be doing. I talked to my roommate who also, we were doing the same thing, dancing together. And we both, like, had this weird thing where we were thinking about it a lot. And we both were talking about it. We think we never got the closure of doing our final show. You know, college was wrapping up. So, like, the ending of college is bringing back the ending of
a lot of
high school. Like, but we never got the closure. We were thinking about it so much. And I was so glad to have her. So I'm like, why am I thinking about dance like this? I never thought about dance, didn't give it a second thought, giving it up. Because I was in so much pain with my knee. I was ready to be done. I was burnt out. I was dancing way too much in high school. They completely burned me out. Someone needed to say, stop dancing so much.
Did you dance for Gretchen too? Or
no,
just...
I danced for Malin Walker's, a private studio, and at school.
I wondered if that was really a studio.
Yeah.
Because, you know, you see the decrepit side, and I'm like, every time I drive right there, it's real. Okay, that's good to know, because I was like, is that from like 20 years ago when no one's ever taken the sign down? It's real. Okay.
Best ballet teacher
ever.
That's
awesome.
In New York City Ballet.
Oh.
Like, best. I don't think I could have had a better studio.
Wow, that's
amazing.
You're the first person I know that didn't dance for Gretchen.
Oh, yeah, everybody danced for Gretchen.
Oh, okay, good to know. All right. So tell me where you are in the world. Like, catch me up from March of 2020.
Oh, gosh.
Give me the basics of what you did.
Okay, so I studied environmental economics and management.
Oh, that sounds exciting. Where?
At the University of Georgia. Go Dogs.
Yeah.
I minored in environmental law, and I got a certificate in sustainability.
Oh, geez.
Yes.
You're busy.
I was busy. So that's my main focus. And then, of course, you know, I found the hot yoga to kind of bridge the gap between the dance and not doing anything. So do a lot of yoga.
So you graduated?
Yes.
On time?
Yes.
How about that?
Thank goodness.
Now what?
Now what? Well, I'm moving to Nashville on Saturday, so in 2 days. Going to Nashville. I'm working for a company called Terracon Environmental.
Okay.
For the summer, I'm an intern, so I'm going to be a field engineer for construction and materials management. So we're going to, like, test a bunch of, like, construction materials, like the concrete, make sure it's the right materials, test the water, make sure it's not being polluted in, like, test the sites before construction starts. Kind of boring stuff, but, you know, I'm hoping to move into maybe some environmental planning at the same companies. Got to start somewhere.
You have to start somewhere. Was Nashville just because of the company, or did you seek Nashville out a little bit?
I applied to jobs across the nation.
Was it hard?
Everywhere. It was terrible.
Yeah.
It was really, like, disheartening almost every single day. It's either a rejection or no response. I have an Excel tab on my iPad, and it's just, like, red from all the rejection. They don't even look at your applications anymore. They just send you a rejection email. super hard process. But just Nashville was literally this company, Terracon, the only place I got a job offered.
City. When you left, when everything happened in 2020 or whatever, and you had a vision like your senior year, what's it going to be like? You have this whole plan, for the next 4 years. Was the journey of the past 4 years what you thought it would be or not at all?
Definitely not at all. I don't know what I was expecting, but like it was so different from what I thought it was going to be. It was great, but it was just different.
How was it different? Like you said, you didn't really know what to expect, but like what makes you say it was different from what you expected?
Like specifically what's coming to mind, I joined a sorority, as you may have known.
As we know, yes.
And I just thought it was going to be different than it was.
Well, because you had to rush online, right?
Yeah. So I felt like I wasn't really getting the full experience.
So it was completely online.
Yeah. I felt like I didn't get a good feel for any of the sororities at all. Like, you're not meeting any of the sisters. You're not seeing their house. You're not going in. You have no clue what it's like. I hadn't been to Athens before, so I didn't even know what the outside of the houses looked like.
You were never in Athens.
I had never gone to Athens before.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Interesting.
Well, I guess I toured it, but I never really went down Millage and was like, oh, those are the sorority. Okay.
Got it.
There,
Okay.
Yeah, and then just doing it all, like meeting the sisters through Zoom, you're only talking to one sister because they don't, it's the first year. They're not really knowing to like transfer it off. And
right.
Like, how you do bump groups and you talk to multiple sisters in person. I was talking to one person,
It's hard to do on video.
Yeah.
To bump it off. Yeah.
It's awkward. Yeah, and you're not seeing the house. Like they try to do their best with like the tours, the videos, but from my memory, which I honestly, it's kind of hazy, I remember just like not knowing anything. The sorority ended up going. I don't even remember watching their video of their house.
Yeah.
I don't remember that at all. It was just different. I ended up dropping out. As you also know.
Yeah.
And I think I definitely envisioned being in a sorority the whole time. I envisioned making like tons of friends. And I made such a great group of friends in my sorority. We are still so close. We text each other our updates every Sunday. We update each other what we're doing. But I guess it's just like a smaller, tight-knit.
So aside from sorority, what else was over the past 4 years was not as you expected, do you think?
I guess still in freshman year, I feel like the dorm was not what I expected either. Everybody gets like Sam, I'm sure he'll talk to you about it. His friend group, that huge friend group, they're all from the dorm. In my dorm, we were not allowed to go in each other's rooms. They had people monitoring the cameras. If you went into like someone's room on your hallway, they would find you and get you in trouble. You weren't allowed to talk to anyone. I was in a shitty dorm.
Yeah. So what dorm were you in?
Creswell.
Oh, crusty.
Yeah. So I had the Creswell cough for like a year.
Yeah.
That was pretty bad.
Yeah.
No, it was heinous in there, but there were no common spaces either. Kind of like study rooms, but nobody was ever really in there because it's crusty.
Yeah.
Love Creswell though. Special place in my heart.
Right.
But
Right. You experienced it.
Yeah. No, we had ladybug infestations.
God.
It was hot in there. But I felt like I was supposed to meet a lot of people freshman year through the sorority and through the dorm, and that just really did not pan out for me.
So you and your peers were affected by COVID, and you had this vision, like I think anyone does. You're going to go to school and you're going to meet all these people. Do you think, and this is not necessarily you, but like your everyone your peers or whatever, and this isn't people just from your high school, I mean in general, do you think that it led people to hold on to relationships too long? Like your high school friends, people like hung on a little too long?
Definitely.
And pushed people together, especially like your friend groups. Like, I don't know, did you find that even with your other friends that you made later? Like,
yeah, well, for me, personally, I feel like I'm still really close with a lot of people from high school. I don't know if that's because a lot of people from high school went to UGA. So it was just my best friend group. We all went to UGA together. So why would we not still be friends? We worked in high school. We're going to work in college. Like my best friend since 5th grade, high school, college, we're roommates. Not going to let her go, obviously.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like my other friends who were not from our high school in Savannah, I feel like they really didn't have as many high school friends as I did. I felt like I kind of was the odd one out with just my sorority friends. But a lot of them were from out of state. But I feel like they had like no high school friends with them at all. I had a ton. And I didn't let those relationships go for the most part. I'm still pretty close with a lot of people from high school.
Do you think any of it had to do with COVID?
Yeah, for me.
Yeah.
I think because who else was I going to talk to? I wasn't meeting anyone new. So why would I not hang out with these people I already know?
I find it interesting. Do you know what the turkey dump is?
No.
Okay. The turkey dump is when everyone goes to college with their high school boyfriend or girlfriend, and by Thanksgiving, they've met a bazillion people, and they're like, yeah, I love you, but like, this is not something that is sustainable. Very common. It's something like well over 80% of high school relationships fall apart.
Yeah. That would not surprise me.
You and your group of friends, only one of you guys has broken up.
I know.
What do you think COVID had to do with that?
I wasn't meeting new people.
Yeah. I mean, not a reflection of like how much you love that person.
Right.
But like,
my next thought was going to be, we also just get along really well.
Right.
We just vibe together.
Yeah. But I mean, there's a lot of you.
Yeah, that's so true.
And I find it fascinating.
Yeah.
I wonder if you think it's because you had that whole year and you had the experience of losing all your lasts in high school. And then you had a whole year where you didn't really meet people.
Yeah.
And
I don't want to be like, oh, I'm going to meet someone and be like, bye, Sam. That's not what I'm trying to imply.
No, not at all. Not at all that. But it kind of pushed you guys closer. That's kind of what I think. Like you had this is kind of excessive, but they call it trauma bonding.
Okay.
I'm not saying it was trauma.
Right.
But I am saying like to go through something like that together kind of pushes you even closer.
Yeah.
And then you go away to school and you don't meet anyone. You know, you're not really going out to the bars. There's no big fraternity parties.
I went out to the bars.
You know, I know you went to the bars.
I went to fraternity parties.
Yeah. But like your freshman year, it wasn't like...
It wasn't anything crazy.
It wasn't like...
I still did some of that. Not what we've been up to recently.
Yeah, totally different. So I just find that observation super interesting.
Yeah.
That you guys like were all in COVID together and now you're all still together. It's fascinating. So tell me about your greatest loss over the past 4 years.
Greatest loss.
And it could be anything. It doesn't have to be a person or...
Yeah.
People gave all kinds of answers.
Well, the thing that pops to my mind first was recent. At UGA, there was a murder.
Oh, yeah.
Of Laken Riley. I did not know her. I don't know why I'm getting emotional. I did not know her. But the person who killed her, 0.2 miles from my house, lived 0.2 miles up the road.
That's scary.
So scary. And then that same week, another boy committed suicide in the dorms. And then later that week, first day of spring break, I get an email. I was in the sustainability certificate. One of my classmates passed away unexpectedly.
Oh, was that in your... Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah. He was amazing.
Yeah.
So
what happened to that poor boy?
They never really, said any details. They just said it was really unexpected.
Because he was on a trip, right?
He was in Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
Just said it was unexpected. I'm sure people know the details who were close to him. I talked to his parents, at the sustainability graduation, his parents came and we signed, his cord.
Oh, God, that's going to make me cry.
That was terrible. It was so terrible. The poor girl she was reading a speech for him. And he just had this awesome quote. I wish I could remember it. It's on his LinkedIn somewhere. And I can send it to you if you want it. And she was trying to read the quote. And she just couldn't even get it out. It was just heartbreaking. And that's what my mind immediately went to. Because he was such a light in that program. She really loved what he was doing. I'm sorry. This is so
don't call it. It's not embarrassing. You're not the first person to cry over this. You're fine.
He just loved what he was doing.
So
it just was so random and unfair.
What has this experience taught you about grief? Clearly, you're still feeling it.
Definitely. I feel like I'm just not over it. And I didn't know him that well. We were in the same program. We took classes together, I would say a class friend,
Right,
we never
sure.
hung out
A colleague, yeah.
Yeah, no, we never hung out, outside of school, but about grief. It's just that it keeps coming. It hits you at random moments. During graduation, I knew it was coming. My sister said, they are going to call for him. You are going to be okay. You know it's coming. And I just, the cries when you are not even making any sounds. That was me. I just couldn't pull it together. It was just, it comes at you when you're not expecting it. And
you don't ever get over it. You just learn to live with it.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, people have had all kinds of loss. And it's something by now, it's some level you experience. And you guys really got hit with 3 in a row.
3 in a row. That was
crazy.
We had the candlelight vigil for Lakin, and I think his name was Wyatt. And that was just heartbreaking.
Did you go?
I did. That was just heartbreaking. I'm on the sidewalk crying again.
Right.
And then 2 days later, I'm home for spring break. And
that
my classmates.
Yeah, that's terrible. I'm so sorry. So we're going to switch here.
Yes.
And pull you out of this. What has been your greatest lesson from March 2020 till now?
My greatest lesson? Not everybody has your best interest. No, but not some people don't have what you want on the forefront of their minds, and they sometimes will do things to sabotage you or to do things against you on purpose.
Tough lesson.
Yeah, definitely. People that you trust and think are your friends and are really doing things behind your back or saying things about you or trying to get with your boyfriend behind your back.
Oh, jeez, that's kind of aggressive.
Crazy stuff
I'm
hearing about.
Yeah, that's kind of awful. Yeah, so that makes you a little, what am I trying to say? How does that make you feel about people?
I feel like I'm always been a very trusting person. And I don't want to say that I'm not a very trusting person anymore. But at the same time, I feel like I am more weary of who I'm talking to, who I'm letting into my life. I don't know. I'll just be talking to people and, just assume that they want the best for me. I want the best for them. And I've had to realize, that's not true. Maybe don't tell people all my hopes and aspirations. Maybe just keep that to myself. Keep that to my close friends and
keep things a little closer.
Yeah, just have general conversations with other people.
Makes sense. Do you think you guys lost all the milestones, right? Your grad trip, graduation, prom, your last dances. Do you think losing those things made you more flexible, or did it make you crave tradition more? Did it make that UGA graduation so much more important? Or did you not realize it, and then you were like, oh, wow, this is kind of a big deal?
I think it kind of crept up on me when I was like, wait, this is our graduation. I had 3 graduations. I had the graduation from the ag school, graduation from my certificate, and then the big UGA graduation. And at the first sustainability graduation, I got my certificate, shook my professor's hand, and got my little cord. And I went, wait, I can't believe I just graduated. Sam was there with me. And I was like, I am on cloud 9. I was just smiling so big. I was having the best time. I couldn't believe that. I was
it took me by surprise a little bit?
Yeah. I was like, oh my God, I just graduated. I actually did this for the first time. And so after that first graduation, which was a week before the other 2 graduations, I was like, oh my God, I'm actually graduating this time. There's something for me to do now.
I get to walk across the stage.
I get some closure.
Yeah. What about other traditions? Did it make you kind of roll with it, or, you know what I mean? Other milestones in life, birthdays, celebrations. How does it make you feel about celebrations now? Are you just kind of
no,
blasé?
Definitely not. My birthday is, Sam hates it. It's my birthday week.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're like me. Yeah.
We like to celebrate. He was talking about going to a game with some of his friends, the weekend of my birthday. And I was like, Sam, we gotta talk about this later. That's my birthday weekend.
My birthday weekend. I don't
know about that.
If I have plans with the girls, you can go, but
no. But I was like, we'll talk about it. We'll see. Maybe if you make it up to me another weekend. I feel like I definitely like to celebrate things a lot more and very on the day, or I'll make it a week long.
Yeah.
His birthday, I love to celebrate his birthday. I'm very much into big celebrations.
So traditions became more important to you? Or was it always that way?
Definitely not. I never had a birth week before.
So they did become more important to you.
I think so, yeah.
So when I took this project on, I went and tried to do all kinds of research. Surely to God, there's research out there about the class of 2020. And the only thing that's really out there is about the college class of 2020 that graduated into a recession and couldn't get jobs and were just stuck at home. Or if they did have jobs, they were like starting them on Zoom and they lost that ability to like be mentored by colleagues and all. There was really nothing about you guys and losing that launch into college or into a job. But the only thing that I could find is that people were calling what happened to your class a trauma.
Interesting.
Yeah. Would you consider it trauma?
I don't think so. I feel like I'm not traumatized. If there was another pandemic, I'd be upset, but I feel like now I just know how to handle it. I feel like I don't know what trauma reactions are, but I feel like I wouldn't.
You don't consider
I feel
that.
now I'm like I'd be more prepared for it. I don't know. I feel like I'm.
So you don't consider those losses a trauma?
No, I think that it sucked and it's sad to think back on that, but I think there's more traumatizing things in the world.
Well, for sure. Do you think that some people, with anyone around you, consider it a trauma? Did you feel like some people took it a lot harder?
Yeah, for sure. Everyone has their own opinions and reactions to stuff. You never know what people are feeling. Yeah, I'm sure people would consider it a trauma. Just for me personally, at least I still got to go to college. I didn't have the best freshman experience. We didn't get to do prom, but looking back, I got to do my junior prom. That was so much fun. We did our makeup prom. That was really fun.
Yeah.
There are other things we got to do, and the losses are sad, but I wouldn't consider it trauma, but I bet other people probably would. That wouldn't surprise me.
So the past 4 years have thrust like all kinds of social issues upon you guys. I don't know if it's any more than normal, but things like, you were in the pandemic and then all of a sudden it was Black Lives Matter, then Roe versus Wade, and now like this war in Hamas and anti-Semitism and all that kind of stuff. Have these things in the media, or maybe you've experienced some of it, made you more empathetic, more of an activist, or the opposite, a little bit more desensitized?
I feel like I'm definitely more empathetic. Definitely. Now, I don't think it's made me desensitized. At least I hope it hasn't made me desensitized. That's kind of sad. If we're just desensitized to all these terrible issues going on. But
it's a lot, though. It's a lot to take in at once, and it can consume you.
Yeah. No, and I'm sure people just scroll and see that and can just keep scrolling past all that crazy news. I feel like I'm definitely still very empathetic towards a lot of those causes, a lot of stuff happening now. So,
and have any of those like affected you personally, or are kind of a hill you would die on, meaning things that you would get involved in?
Yeah, definitely. I think what's going on right now, it's nothing personally. I'm not Jewish. I don't have relations to Gaza. I don't. But I feel like I definitely am. Genocide is genocide to me, and I will die on that hill. And I think what's happening there is wrong. And I think I don't want to get too political and crazy,
don't. Yeah.
I think genocide is genocide, and call it what it is. And
what about Roe versus Wade?
Oh, definitely would die on that hill too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was great. Glad you brought that up. I would die on that hill. What are we doing? Why are we taking away women's rights? What is happening in this country? What is happening?
Pivot that to social media. Tell me the role that social media plays in your life.
A big one.
Does it? Okay.
Yeah. No, on TikTok specifically, I get my news is from TikTok. Like I'll have like ABC or CBS or whatever those news things pop up on my feed, and that's really where I get my news, especially with, like what's going on in Gaza. I get videos from people there showing what's going on and asking.
So that's your algorithm now?
Oh, it is. So I see a lot of that. I feel like, I guess, firsthand through TikTok. And I feel like that's part of the reason that I'm like, oh my God, what are we doing here? We have to do something. We have to stop this,
I find this funny. You're the first person that's on TikTok.
Really?
First person.
Well, that's embarrassing.
No, I I find it fascinating, and that's why I asked the question, because everyone has such a different stance. So you're like 23, 22, 21 years old. When you guys got your phones, I don't know, 8th grade-ish, around there, and Snap and Instagram were fairly new. I mean, they were not new, but for you guys, they were new.
Yeah.
And they weren't what they are now. So what I'm hearing a lot is that for you guys, social media did not consume your high school experience.
For me, probably not. Yeah.
Yeah. No one has said, they're like, well, it was pictures of food. It wasn't like what I would say people Nolan's age and down, especially younger kids, if you're around any younger, like middle school, high school kids now.
They want to be influencers.
Right. It consumes them, and
Right.
they build their lives around it very much.
Yeah.
So that's why I asked the question. Are you mostly on TikTok? Yeah, you're
My
like,
screen time would say yes.
you're
I
like,
don't post on it. I just
nobody posts
absorb
on it.
the
Yeah, absorb it. Yeah.
information.
You probably need to change your algorithm.
I
You need to
probably
start
do.
looking up some dance stuff or something.
Dance sometimes.
Yeah. How do you think social media has affected dating and sex for you guys? Now, I'm going to give you a little background in this.
Okay.
Studies show that your generation has far less sex than my generation did at your age.
That is crazy.
No hookup culture, the loss of Roe versus Wade, COVID
Yeah.
pushed you guys apart. So if you were single during that time, you weren't meeting anyone.
Yeah.
And people have lost the ability because of social media and COVID, they're saying, to talk to each other.
Now that you say that, like my single friends, all of like my sorority friends,
Yeah.
they were single pretty much majority of the whole time.
No big hookup culture.
No, they were not really hooking up with that many people. Not really. And then I feel like they would get into a long-term relationship. If they were hooking up with someone, they were going to keep hooking up with that same person. And then there was going to be a relationship after that. That's
A
how-
relationship or a situationship?
relationship most
Yeah.
of the time, but some situationships, some situationships, but a lot of my friends' relationships started out with hooking up a couple times,
The normal
once every
college stuff.
weekend, and then turned into a relationship.
Interesting.
So it definitely is like not as casual, just going home with whoever. It's definitely like a little more. I feel like people are more cautious too. Like, don't go home with the creep. You never know what these creepy people are gonna do to you, and I don't know.
I love that. That's crazy. Okay. Okay, there's a phenomenon called the quarter century crisis.
Okay.
Do you know what that is?
I'm
Okay.
assuming I think I can guess, but
Go ahead, guess.
just like a midlife crisis,
Mhm.
but just at 25.
Correct. Time of uncertainty, disillusionment. You go through school, usually at 25, like you're a couple years into your job, settling into new life. Maybe you thought you'd be married, dating someone, getting close to something. And you're kind of like, oh, is this all there is? Do you think that your class in particular will experience that more so or less so because of your COVID experience?
I don't know. More so or less so? Maybe more so. Maybe less so, because we're used to adapting and changing in this world that's unpredictable right now, and as it always has been. We might be able to adapt better since we had to.
Since your security
adapt
was,
already, yeah.
Mhm.
I feel like maybe,
Gone.
Yeah.
Tell me what you think people misunderstand about 22-year-olds today. And by people, I mean people my age
Oh gosh.
or a little older than you.
Some of us, our frontal lobes have already developed and we're more mature. And I swear it just hit me one day out of the blue, and I'm sober and I'm vegan and I'm gluten-free and I'm just
geez,
like,
you've taken it all on.
I am just like a different person. I'm not a crazy 18-year-old like I was at the beginning of college. I've really grown up, and everybody thinks, oh, they're fresh out of UGA specifically. They're crazy, they're partiers, they're wild. And I'm ready to work. I'm excited to work. I'm ready to be an adult, and I think I'm prepared for it.
As much as you can be.
As much as I can be.
And then tell me what you are going to do with your one big life.
Oh gosh. I hopefully change the world. I would love to.
How?
I'm studying environment. I hope to do something good for the environment. I hope I don't sell my soul and work against the environment. I hope I keep my morals. Yeah, I want to protect this planet. I'm going to do what I can to protect this planet. It's the one place we have to call home. Protect it for future generations. Protect it for ourselves. I hope that I can play a role in that somehow. That's what I studied to do.
I just have a quick follow-up question. What does that mean for having kids for you?
I don't want kids.
Because of the planet?
We chat sometimes. We'll see.
Yeah.
You never know. The future is the future. You never know what's going to happen. But at this moment, I'm not planning on it.
Well, I was just curious because who was your teacher at Savannah Arts that didn't have kids?
Dana Barnwell.
Because of that.
No,
so when
I
you
don't-
said that was I don't know her, so I'm not saying you're going to become her.
She was the best teacher. I loved her.
I just remember a few people saying, "Oh, Miss Barnwell didn't have kids because of the environment." So when you said that is your value and your sole focus, I was like,
Yeah,
that's interesting.
that's what I think. But plans change, things change.
They do for sure. They do for sure.
That's a no right
I'm
now.
going to follow up when you're 35 and see if you have kids.
Maybe.
So,
I'm not saying no. It's just not in the cards.
Thanks for listening to Laying Fallow. Be sure to listen to the rest of the episodes, and to learn more and see the portraits from both 2020 and 2024, head over to my website, www.donnavonbruning.com, or to my Instagram, @DonnaVonBruning.